Hi everyone, and welcome to another week's digital marketing news. This is the last of the homemade video updates. As next week we are back in the office, so I'm going to be getting the full hair and makeup treatment and a decent camera and mic rather than the crappy ones that we've had to use remotely for the last couple of months. Mortgage Calculator, the new search tool from Google. So Google's been working hard on making search results more dynamic and trying to make Google more of a destination rather than just a tool. So Google released in the US in May 2020 terms like how to buy a house had reached an all-time high. There was similar growth in associated terms like what is API and what is PMI. We've seen Google getting more dynamic over the last 5 years. It started in the early days with questions like, what's 5 kilos in pounds, and getting that result to that question back in the search results. Now it seems things are getting a little bit more advanced with the new mortgage process, which was currently released in the US on the 22nd of July. So what does this mean for companies who sell mortgages online using Google? So we've put a copy of a demo on our website, and it looks like the mortgage tool is going to sit between the top ad placement and the organic placements. I think this is going to have a huge effect on the click-through rate for the top organic positions for terms like Mortgage Calculator. These sites are typically the big affiliate sites like Money Savings Expert and some of the larger banks. It does reflect a common approach by Google at the moment to try and remove affiliates while at the same time becoming an affiliate itself. This can be seen in like the local ads that have been released in the US over the last couple of months. The positive effect that this might have, however, is the accuracy of in-market audiences around products such as mortgages. So they might become a lot better as the interactions with the tool, and I'm sure they are being used to collect data around users that advertisers using the Google Ads platform will then be able to access. We've put all the links on our website. TikTok has responded to Byte with a $200 million creators fund. So we reported last week that it looked like creators were leaving TikTok. This could have been due to security, bad PR, or that the platform's been receiving over the last couple of weeks or months. Or it could have been that with monetization options on platforms like Byte, this was ultimately a more sustainable option for them as users can make money from the content they're producing. So TikTok have released that they are creating a $200 million creator fund. In an official press release, TikTok have announced they are creating the TikTok Creator Fund to encourage those who dream of using their voices and creativity to spark inspirational careers. Currently, this is a US-only fund, and the money will be distributed over the next year, and the fund is expected to grow if it is successful. So there are a couple of ways that you can currently monetize yourself if you are a TikToker. $50 million has been added to a creative fund to help emerging teachers on the platform. TikTok live streams can currently be monetized, and the TikTok Marketplace, which helps marketers and TikTok creators collaborate. We've put all the links on our websites. The Google Mobile First SEO plan is being delayed. So if you work on websites, I'm sure it's not any news that mobile users have led to huge changes in the way that sites are built and content is rendered. So Google was so concerned about the quality of its customer experience on sites when using a mobile, it was going to completely update its algorithm so that mobile performance was considered as the default user. So the large update was due to roll out in September 2020, but they've announced that due to events of the last few months, it's now been rolled back to March 2021. Designers and developers have a nasty habit of coming up with solutions that are very flash and sometimes don't work for users, but more often Google struggles to find content that's contained in elements such as JavaScript. Now, I'm not going to get into JavaScript indexability in this video, but we are going to talk about some very specific mobile related things that are worth checking out as soon as you can. Well, at least as soon as you can so you can fix them by March. So Google's advice is, number one, check your mobile version meta tags. So check that historically sites might have been removing the mobile version from Google's index, preferring the desktop version, and doing that using the meta tag no index or no follow. This will need to be removed when the mobile first index is rolled out. Your site might be moved completely from Google's index if you're trying to remove the mobile version of your site from Google's index. Lazy loading. I personally hate lazy loading as a concept. I'm more of a pagination type of person. We have put a link to lazy loading best practices on our website, but the general rule is don't lazy load any of your primary content, as Google may or may not interact with your content in the way that you expect, and if they don't interact with it, they won't discover your content. Content within interaction elements. So if you need to swipe, click or type to get content, don't rely on Googlebot doing this. If in any doubt, check the Fetch by Google option in the search, the Google Search Console, and this will show you exactly what the Googlebot can see on your page. Some sites have a reduced content on their mobile version. So if you've cut down the content that you serve on the mobile version of your site, you might find the perceived quality of your site is reduced when Google switches over to its mobile first index. Google's video and images. So we need to check the quality and images of video that are being used on mobile versions of the sites. If you've put smaller images, they're going to now potentially be shown on desktop, so you just need to check that that is all working. We'll put a link to the full press release from Google on our website. Google released data on the impacts of COVID for search for travel businesses. Skift Research recently published that nearly 90% of travel marketers have slashed their budgets due to COVID-19. We have linked to the full document on our website, which is actually a really interesting read and tries to answer the question, how can travel CMOs and their teams navigate through the crisis and actually come out stronger? Slowly, the travel companies have started advertising, and Google has released some really interesting research into how the market has changed. So we know that Google collects a lot of data about us. Some of it's shown in the new mobility change reports, which are currently broken down by country and were last updated on the 25th of July. We've put links on our website to this. So in the UK data, we can see parks and retail saw a 40% reduction below the baseline, although this is slowly returning. Supermarkets saw a 16% reduction. Parks have actually seen an increase of 25%. Public transport, a reduction of 37%. Workplaces, a reduction of 15%. And residences, a 6% increase. So in the report, Google talks about large changes in consumer search terms, such as cancelled flight, can I cancel my flight? These increased 15-fold in March compared to January. So do check out Google Trends and research changes in your market and keywords your market use. Some of the other standout statistics from the report are terms around virtual tours have seen a 500% increase in searches. 25 to 35% of travellers are actually planning their first trips to be relatively local. Safety is always at the foreground, with an expectation with 32% of respondents saying enhanced hospital-grade cleaning would make them more likely to book. We've put a link to the full report on our website, and it's worth checking out if you are in the travel marketing industry. Google goes head-to-head with Amazon with a buy on Google and is now commission free. So when working with e-commerce clients, there's always a trade-off of risk and reward working with Amazon and Google. Amazon can be seen as a more total and simple solution as long as you're able to afford the advertising and can keep the high levels of service that an Amazon seller account really requires. It can be a simpler solution. Traditionally, if you wanted to sell through Google, you would need a website and worry about things like SEO, UX, load speed, updates, security, etc., etc. So there's always been a bit of a break-even point where either the Amazon fees of 8 to 15% look cheap or expensive. So Google has decided to offer a similar solution with Buy with Google. This allows a user to buy without actually having to visit your website. It's currently also commission free in the US. Google is trying to get Amazon only, so normally SMB type clients, onto its platform with this. They even allow you to upload your data to Google in the current Amazon feed format, so to make it even easier. Google, in my opinion, has fallen slightly behind Amazon within e-commerce. More and more people are starting and ending their sales journey on Amazon. Google has been updating their e-commerce sales solutions a lot this year in an attempt to catch up. Google announced that some of its shopping placements will no longer be charged for in a press release last month, for example. It has been announced that its Buy on Google scheme will be commission free, so customers can buy your product directly from the search engine result or shopping result page and not even have to visit your website. The payment for the products is currently done by PayPal and Shopify in the US tests, but it is going to be rolled out over the next couple of months with rumours that other payment merchants will be included. There are some requirements, however, that you're going to have to meet to get onto the programme, either the live one now in the US or in other countries as they roll out. So PayPal, your merchant center account needs to be linked with your PayPal account, and importantly, the account country and legal business name must match exactly with your merchant center. Customer service, Google is guaranteeing your product purchases for its customers, so it means that you're going to need to have a very robust customer service setup already in place when you start. If you get bad feedback, it's possible that this will have a real detrimental effect on your campaigns. One thing to do is to double check the customer service email is correct in your merchant center. It would be a real easy thing to do, sending all of your customer service inquiries to a non-monitored email address. Returns, this gets a little bit more complex. Google can generate returns on your behalf, and it charges a flat fee of $4.40 per label, but there are a number of options going forward. Either continue with the Google facilitated returns, which is probably the easiest, or add return labels into the Merchant Center or through Google's API. It looks like Google's really trying to fight back against Amazon now in the war of e-commerce. We've put all the links to all the press release on our websites. Don't forget to get these updates straight to your inbox. Subscribe using the link in the description.